host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the yearly predictions for the next year 2024 for all the rising signs. And before we will start our discussion, I wish all of you heartiest wishes and blessings of this upcoming new year. May all of your wishes come true. May you will find your purpose, and this year will bring you good wealth, health and happiness in all areas of your life. So guys, before we will jump into the customized results for this upcoming new year, customized to your Lagna, let's first try to understand how the vibe of this year collectively is going to be influencing all of us. So guys, if you remember, like at the time when I made a video for the year 2023, I mentioned this thing that from the numerology point of view, the universal year turned out to be of 7, which is a number of extremities because it is being ruled by the planet Ketu. And we all have seen that the war which took place, like Israel and this Hamas situation which we all are witnessing, so that generally tend to remain a theme in the universal year of 7. But guys, when we talk about the vibe of the 2024, the sum total of that will give you the universal year vibration of number 8, which is being governed by the planet Saturn. Second thing is that even in the transit next whole year, Saturn is going to be strengthened in the sign of Aquarius, its own Mool Trikona sign. And Saturn is going to be traveling in the majorly in the Sadbhisha Nakshatra and the Purvabhadrapada Nakshatra. Both of the nakshatra are somehow very much conducive and favorable for Saturn to manifest good results. And also guys, in one of the video, I also mentioned this thing that as per our lunar calendar calculations, this year is also the Samvatsar. It is carrying the energy of the Mars, as Mars is the ruler of this year. So definitely when we talk about the combined energy of the Mars and Saturn, so that definitely benefit all those people who are in the fields of engineering, construction, you are a builder or anything to do with the innovative work. So definitely this year will give you lot many opportunities. Apart from that, Jupiter is going to be transiting in the sign of Aries till the end of the April of 2024, and at the beginning of the May, it will transit to the sign of Taurus. So guys, one thing is for sure that because in the original Kalpurush Kundli, Aquarius is a sign of gains and Taurus is a sign of wealth. Now, as you can see that both of these two planets and these zodiac signs are going to be in a strengthened state because Saturn being in the Aquarius and Jupiter being in the Taurus. Second thing is that the transiting Ketu is now going to be getting aspected by the planet Jupiter. That in itself is a very good indication that in order for you to reap the reward of all those things which you have done, your soul has accumulated from the journey in the past so many lifetimes, this year can actually give you the results of that as well. And lastly guys, I always say this thing that whenever in the transit, if these two major planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are jointly influencing any sign, so the tendency to gain something very substantial connected with the attributes of that zodiac sign tend to remain very strong. So guys, during this year, once Jupiter will transit the sign of Taurus, Jupiter will aspect the sign of Scorpio, and Saturn is already giving its 10th aspect to the sign of Scorpio. So that in itself means that in whichsoever domain Scorpio energy is falling in your chart, you can actually achieve or accomplish something substantial pertaining to the domain of that zodiac sign and that house. So yes guys, after that now we will shift our discussion customized to that basis your ascendant, what this year is going to be bringing up for you. So friends, now we will shift our discussion customized to your rising sign, and we will try to understand that how planets are going to be influencing you next year. So the approach which I will follow for explaining you the yearly predictions is that I will be covering all the 12 houses for your rising sign, and I will be explaining you that pertaining to the attributes and signification of each house, how planets are going to be influencing you in that area. So guys, starting with the first house, which tells about your public image, which tells about your health, and which also tells about that with how much conviction you will pursue your goals next year. So the summary which I have written for you is that capacity to rediscover yourself, success in competitive situations, being led by right circumstances, people, and examples. So there is a whole logic why I mentioned this thing. Now you know this thing that throughout the next year, Saturn is going to be strengthened in your 6th house. Rahu and Ketu are definitely going to be transiting in your 1st house and 7th house. Ketu in the 1st house. But most importantly, guys, the minute Jupiter from May 2024, it will enter your 9th house and it will start giving its 5th aspect to your 1st house where Ketu is transiting. And guys, we always know this thing that the only planet which has got this say and which has got a control over all of the actions of our past lifetime, that is the planet Ketu. It's the Ketu only which can unlock and unravel all of our dormant potential and talents, and Ketu somehow gets activated whenever it comes in any contact with the planet Jupiter. So Jupiter being placed in such a auspicious house, giving its 5th aspect to your Ketu in the 1st house, can actually give you a chance to rediscover yourself. Definitely strengthened in a 6th house. I mentioned this thing, success in competitive situation, and just because Jupiter being there in your 9th house, so you will be led by the right people and right set of examples. And again guys, just because now we will look at that your ascendant lord planet Mercury throughout the year, in which specific month it is going to be forming some sort of Raj Yoga through conjunction with other planets. So guys, in the month of March, your ascendant lord and your 10th house lord Mercury is going to get conjunct with Saturn in your 6th house, which is a very good indication for any of the concerns of loan getting sanctioned, any of the concerns over writing any competitive exam, any of your political aspiration and all. I would say the month of March will seems to be very much in your favor. After that guys, in the month of June, your ascendant lord Mercury is going to be getting conjunct with Jupiter in your 9th house. Again guys, it is a very good indication because Mercury somehow being transiting in the sign of Taurus is a favorable placement for it. So I would say that in the month of June, if you have to apply for any PR, visa related concerns, taking admission in any foreign university, any of the foreign travel related concern and all, good part is that in the month of June, luck will support you in all avenues, in all areas of your life. Along with that guys, I would say this thing, see I have mentioned for the June that it is a very good month for success in major endeavors, especially travel, immigration, pilgrimage and all aspect of your career. Now at the end, in the month of October, your ascendant lord is going to be getting strengthened in your 1st house, and also it will partially move to your 2nd house as well. So the month of October will also manifest some unexplored talents and it will be very good month for your public image as well. Now guys, moving to your 2nd house, which tells about your relationship with the immediate family. It also tells about your virtues and it also tells about your financial inflow. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that with Ketu in 1st house and Jupiter in 9th, family blessings and camaraderie will take you far this year. The vibe of this year is more of doing something inspirational and earning goodwill. So, and also guys, if you have to give attention to the specific month, so we have to follow that your 2nd house lord Venus, which all planets it is going to be getting conjunct forming Raj Yoga in which specific months. So in the month of March, your 2nd house lord Venus is going to get conjunct with Saturn in the 6th house, which is a good indication again for any of the concerns of, for any of your business like expenses or your business expansion. You need some funding, sponsorship, support, loans and all. So the month of March will prove to be very favorable for you. In the month of April, your 2nd house lord is going to get conjunct with Rahu in the 7th house and it is going to get exalted as well. So I would say this thing that specifically the month of April will seem to be very favorable for any of the matrimonial related concern and an enhanced obsessive public image as well. And lastly guys, in the month of June, Your second house lord is going to get conjunct with Jupiter in the ninth house. So it will be a very good indication for spending your money on pilgrimage, on like charities, on travels and all. So all of that will prove to be very fruitful. Now guys, moving ahead to your third house now, which tells about your initiatives. It tells about your relationship with your colleagues, with your neighbors, with your siblings, all sort of communication, travels, file work, documentation. So the points which I have written for your third house related attributes is that with a dual aspect of both Jupiter and Saturn. Now definitely Jupiter will start aspecting your third house from May 2024 only. So with dual aspect of Jupiter and Saturn influencing the attributes of your third house, some significant accomplishments is possible in the domain of third house in the year 2024. Now the specific months, if we have to take into consideration, in the month of March. So guys, in the month of March, as you can see that your third house lord, which becomes planet Mars, it is going to get exalted in your fifth house. So again, it's a very good indication, like in the month of March, if you are a performing artist, if you are a freelance person, anything to do with the literary written talents and all. So I would say that, and specifically for the content creators, influences and all, third house becomes very important. So third house lord getting exalted in the fifth house is a very good indication. Along with that guys, in the month of April, your third house lord is going to get conjunct with Saturn in the sixth house. So that is going to be a month where like a lot many people will be they will act very competitive. Like I would say that in the month of April, nothing can slow you down, nothing can pin you down. So you will be at your ferocious best in the month of April. After that guys, in the month of May, your third house lord is going to be getting conjunct with Rahu in your seventh house. So that is going to be a month when you have to remain very careful. Like this is a typical energy of like some like sudden quick paced development in the matters of your commercial interest, like suddenly getting into fight with your partners, or like if you are single or you are looking for alliance, suddenly getting attracted towards someone. So all of that is going to be a theme in the month of May, when your third house lord is going to be getting conjunct with Rahu in the seventh house. In the month of like July and August, your third house lord is going to get conjunct with Jupiter in the ninth house. That is definitely going to be a very good time, very good indication that for all of your endeavors, they will definitely be very much divine protected. And if during that time you will plan any pilgrimage, any of the travels and all, that will be very rejuvenating for you. After that guys, when we talk about the matters of your fourth house, definitely over here you will find the energy of the planet Jupiter in the form of the Sagittarius sign. Fourth house tells about our peace, our inner emotional state, concerns of security, stability, our dealing with the, like I would say, public and all. We see generally from the fourth house. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that from May 2024, when your fourth house lord will transit to your ninth house. So from May 2024, there will be a upward surge in your level of personal happiness, and auspicious fated events in your life will start happening. So guys, you have to understand this thing, that just because from the past couple of months, your fourth house lord has been transiting in the eighth house, which is like, you can relate it in such a way that your emotions are going deep in the ditch. But I would say that once Jupiter will come out of your 8th house, it will enter your 9th house. So that is the only reason I mentioned this thing, that all the auspicious, and Ketu is there in your 1st house. So auspicious and fated events in your life will start happening. After that guys, now if you will look at your like 5th house, over there you will find the energy of the planet Saturn. 5th house tells about your intellect. It also tells about your concerns of progeny, your academics, religious and spiritual pursuit, interest in yoga, in the mantra sadhana and all. So I have mentioned over here that from May 2024, with Jupiter giving its 9th aspect to your 5th house, and 5th lord well placed in the 6th house, because Saturn is going to be well placed in the 6th house. So it's a lifetime yoga for performing good in any competitive situation, or planning a child. Mind will be well guided by thoughts of righteousness, fairness, and integrity. So, yes, guys, whether we talk about the living signification of the fifth house or whether we talk about in general your thought process, I would say you seems to be very much divine protected in the month like from May onwards. Once like Jupiter would have transited to your ninth house and with the dignified state of your fifth house lord in the sixth house as well. After that, guys, when we talk about the sixth house, which tells about your daily life, which tells about your health, which tells about your competitive spirit, so Saturn is going to be transiting in the sixth house throughout the year, like shifting and going back and forth from the Sadbisha and the Puru Bhadrapada nakshatra. So the points or the summary which I have written for your sixth house is that year will give you a chance to make a difference in your daily life, inspire and lead people with setting your work ethics as an example. Obviously, guys, because Jupiter being in the like as you can see, Jupiter transiting in the ninth house, Ketu in the first house, so the way planets are actually transiting and influencing you next year, trust me, it has got more value, more than just the material thing. It has got more of to do something inspirational and setting a standard in the society because of your own ethics and integrity. After that, guys, when we talk about the seventh house, so seventh house which tells about your commercial interest, seventh house also tells about your public image, your matrimonial alliances and concerns. So as you can see that in your seventh house, the planet Rahu is already transiting over there, but the rulership goes to the planet Jupiter, which is going to be a dignified state from the month of May onwards. So the points which I have written for the seventh house is that from May 2024, any of the matrimonial issues will stop bothering you. A lot of natives on a lookout for a matrimonial alliances will find success in their pursuit. Seventh house Rahu will be much more goal oriented from May 2024 onwards. After that, guys, when we talk about the concerns of the eighth house, which tells about your deeper unspoken emotions, generally we say this thing that all the negative things, sudden problems which generally comes, they only come out of the eighth house only. So let's see how the eighth house is going to be influencing you. So guys, I have written over here is that next year, because Saturn is going to be from the sixth house, it is going to be giving its third aspect to your eighth house. So Saturn's third aspect will restrict the outcome of any unpredictable negative events and a good indication of winning over any ongoing lawsuit. So yes, guys, I'm not saying you any vulnerable. If 8th house is the house of sudden problems, so Saturn's aspect will definitely slow down the negative outcome in your case. After that, guys, now let's look at your 9th house. So guys, definitely in your 9th house very soon, from May 2024, Jupiter will transit in your 9th house. And guys, here it hardly matters the kind of role which Jupiter plays for your Lagna. Jupiter in itself gets exceptionally strong whenever it is placed or it is influencing the 9th house. So the points which I have mentioned for your 9th house, which is a house of your long foreign distance travel, higher education, all sort of mentorship, guidance, visa, immigration related concerns and all. So Jupiter's presence over here will uplift overall life's undertakings. Pilgrimages, charities and religious austerities will bring overall well-being in life, good for health, wealth and acquisition of wisdom. After that, guys, now if we will come to your 10th house, which tells about your public image, it tells about your professional endeavors, and it also tells about the kind of relationship you will have with the seniors, with prominent people in the society. So guys, in the matters of your 10th house, where you will find the energy of your ascendant lord in itself, the energy of the planet Mercury. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that planets are in a state that your efforts will be well supported by omens and would go on unobstructed. Definitely Jupiter in the 9th, Ketu in the first house, omens are definitely supporting you next year. It will not happen that if something bad is gonna happen, you will not get a hunch of that. So planets are in a state that your efforts will be well supported by omens and would go unobstructed. For example, you will act with an intensity of 5, the universe will match it with a supporting 5. So that is how whatsoever you will be doing, all of your good deeds will be rewarded next year for sure. The much efforts you will put, universe will actually match that, and you will feel being taken care of next year for all of your professional endeavors. And definitely guys, we have to see that how your 10th house lord in the transit is going to be behaving, in which specific month it is going to be forming some important Raj Yoga for you in the transit. So guys, in the month of March, your 10th house lord, ascendant lord Mercury is going to get conjunct with Saturn in your 6th house. It is a very good sign for any competitive exam, for anything to do with exerting your authority, or if you are heading any important project and where you have to multitask, deal with some sort of conflicting situation, and very I would say that very all those people who are not very easy to deal with. So whenever we are getting the support from the 6th house, we tend to remain empowered and potent enough to exert the authority in a right way. So I would say this thing that the month of March seems to be very promising for succeeding because of showing your prowess and indulging in unconditional service. In the month of June guys, as you can see that your ascendant and the 10th house lord is going to be getting conjunct with Jupiter in your 9th house, and it will transit to your 10th house as well. So again guys, the month of June seems to be promising as well. Any of the work related travels will prove to be very rewarding during that time. And in the month of October, your ascendant lord and 10th house lord is going to be transiting from the 1st house in itself. So I would say this thing that for being considered for any new role, or being considered for any promotion, or if in your line of work public speaking, public dealing is very much involved, so the month of October will definitely give you a launch pad or a platform. So yes guys, that is about the 10th house. Now when we talk about the 11th house, definitely guys, 11th house tells about the kind of people we associate with, we socialize with, our wishes, our dreams, our goals, all of that we see from the 11th house. The good part is that 3rd house, 7th house, other houses can also give you dream and vision, but 11th house can fulfill that as well. And also guys, your elder siblings, your friends, all of that we see from the 11th house. So the points or the summary which I have written over here is that it's uninterrupted. Strong conviction will drive many towards their set goals. Support from relevant people and groups will be accessible throughout the year. And lastly guys, when we talk about your 12th house, so as you can see that in your 12th house you will find the energy of the planet sun in the form of the Leo sign being over there, and next whole year your 12th house is going to be getting aspected because of the Saturn being very well placed in your 6th house. So the points which I have mentioned over here is that 7th aspect from planet Saturn will restrict possibility of fear and losses from hidden enemies. And definitely guys, we have to see that in the transit, in whichsoever months your 12th house lord is going to be getting conjunct with other planets, forming some sort of important yogas. So guys, from April 15th onwards, your 12th house lord, planet sun, is going to get exalted in the 8th house. So it is kind of a Vipreet Raj Yoga. 12th house lord is going to be getting exalted, dignified in the 8th house. So that in itself is a sign that that month could actually prove to be very fruitful for winning over any lawsuit and all. And let's say for example, if in your line of work any secretive covert activities, actions, research, exploration is involved, so that is going to be a month where you can actually grow with leap and bound, or can achieve or accomplish something very substantial. Because during that time as well guys, as you can see that your 3rd house lord, planet Mars, is also during that month only is going to be getting conjunct with Saturn in your 6th house as well. Along with that guys, mid of August onwards, like from 15th August onwards, when sun is going to be transiting in your 12th house in itself. Your 12th house is going to be getting glorified because of the presence of sun over there. And during that time, as you can see that your third house lord, planet Mars, your third house lord and your eighth house lord Mars is going to be getting conjunct with the planet Jupiter in your ninth house as well. So I would say, guys, this thing that for any of the overseas related interest, with your ninth house being in such an accentuated state and your 12th house being in such a glorified state, any of your overseas interest in that month can also get rewarded. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook.